conscious man or woman, you must stand against this evil. These people have destroyed the fabrics of our society because they saw evil coming. They also saw it rearing its ugly head, and they did nothing. Still, they are still deceiving you. Now, there are things that ordinary people and church members should do. You need to demand that action is taken against all these evil, against all these perpetrators. You must demand justice. If they don't do it, if they are so-called men of God, your religious leaders do not agree and do what you want them to do, desert that church, go away from that church, and stop contributing towards the progress of that church financially. And you will see them that they will come to their senses. A lot of things are happening. Why is it that our people, when they see evil, they will look away? But when they see good things that they should embrace, they will begin to trample on it. Life is so sweet for these men of God that they don't want their skin to be ruffled. They don't want to be discomforted. They don't want to come out of their comfort zone. That is why they don't want to speak against bandits and armed robbers and Fulani headsmen. That is why they don't want to speak against the obviously terrorist government in place in the contraption called Nigeria. That is why the likes of Ejike Mbaka will say that Buhari is the best thing that has happened to the contraption called Nigeria. That is why he will, if he is living, he will call Buhari a saint. That is why he saw what is evil in the eyes of man and God and decided to go against it. Practically begging on the pulpit, practically conducting political rally in the pulpit. And today, he has been promised that within several weeks, a particular church building will be completed. And it is from the presidency, True Hope Uzodimma, because they used him to legalize an illegal political victory. Even if the whole world is against it, I can never believe that God spoke to Ejike Mbaka. The worst disgrace ever. Father Mbaka, as a matter of fact, has the capacity to mobilize people, even in that Enugu axis where he is, against these corrupt practices, against these killings, against the slaughtering, against the beheading. And mobilizing people is not just one day, not 2 days. It has to be on a sustained basis. Father Mbaka alone is able to do this. Then how much more the whole of the Catholic churches in that contraption called Nigeria, the whole of the Pentecostal churches in the whole of that contraption called Nigeria? How about other churches that they have outside the shores of the contraption called Nigeria? How can anyone say that they don't have the capacity to mobilize and indeed rock the whole world and expose what is evil that has been allowed to fester in the contraption called Nigeria? Do you see why I am saying that they are responsible for what is happening? Because they have all it takes. They have all it takes to stop what is going on. Adebayo, or Bishop Adebayo, he summoned up courage to be on the street the other day. And unfortunately, He did not impress people like me and others. Although it's a good effort, but I don't know that he was playing to the gallery. Because that protest had supposed to be sustained. Not one day, not 2 days, not 3 days, not 1 week. These people have access to corridors of powers overseas. They have access to foreign missions in the contraption called Nigeria. I don't know what they are waiting for. Simple things that you cannot do. We are not telling you to go and carry gun and start chasing these people. Some of these men of God and bishops and cardinals and all of them are general overseers. Some of them are elderly people. Mobilize young people within your midst, within your fold. Let them do this work. And we're not telling you to go and begin to kill people. Defend yourself against existential threat. Go onto the media. Use money to sponsor interviews and projects and protests through the media. Some of you have TV networks. Why are you not using it to project this evil to the whole of humanity? Most of you have access all over the world because you have different missions that you collaborate with. Why are you shying away from exposing everything that has been happening? Only very few people have been able to travel out of the shores of that contraption called Nigeria to make presentation, including IPOB for avoidance of doubt. Because we are just keeping quiet. Some of the interests that the United States government have against terrorism in the contraption called Nigeria in recent times, especially the killing of Christians, have been a combination of effort made by some Christians from Middle Belt, IPOB, and a number of consensus individuals. It is on record. And we don't need to begin to boast about this. And what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria is religious genocide against Judeo-Christian population. Whether you like it or not, you have a responsibility to do the needful. Why is the church so wicked? The church is supposed to be where the Spirit of God is dwelling. But it appears today that this is where demon has its foothold and abode. This is unbelievable. There are so many things that we are going to talk about. We are going to go into specific, different aspects of all this deception going on in the church in coming days and weeks ahead. Christians in different parts of the zoo called Nigeria, ordinary people, you need to wake up, especially the youth, because your future is at stake. How can an able-bodied man be going about like a remotely controlled robot, whereby your pastor is brainwashing you practically, deceiving you and making money out of you? A number of them have universities. And in the first place, those universities are supposed to be free because they were built by tithes and offerings that people were making. So you people have stake in those universities. All of you whose bishops have universities in the contraption called Nigeria and who have been contributing both in tithe and in offering have legitimate right to demand that your children attend those schools, those universities, free of charge. But when you see the right thing, you cannot do it. You have the legitimate right to demand that your children are given unfettered access to those institutions of tertiary learning, secondary and university education. Unfortunately, those remain the most expensive, and you are paying through your nose. And because they are your papa, my father in the Lord and all that, you cannot reason with your head. The worst aspect of it is that they are playing with your lives, with your security. Whereby they are supposed to speak up, they are deceiving you. Like I said in the beginning, Sharia law was introduced in the contraption called Nigeria because the church decided not to do anything about it. They are running away from trouble. They don't want to be confronted, and they don't want anyone to confront them. And today we are in the mess that we are in. You have two parallel systems of government in the zoo called Nigeria, and one is militant. The other one is silent, lording it over. The militant one is lording it over you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Very soon they will introduce it all over. They have tried Ruga, and there was a public outcry. Of course, IPOB was also at the forefront of it. And then they withdrew and repackaged it. It is only in Biafra land that you have Ruga being implemented by the state governors. They have partnerships with Magban. They have a memorandum of understanding with Magban. Anambra state government, Uche, has serious dealings with Magban, Fulani herdsmen. They are effectively running the security architecture. They are part of the security architecture in Anambra. Enugu State, the same thing. They have unfettered access. They have Okada. They have Keke. They rode triumphantly into Enugu State Government House unimpeded. Fulani herdsmen. The other day, one Reverend Father was thanking them for protecting them. Thank you for providing security or protecting us and all that. You need to check yourself. Willie Obiano, in Ebony, the same thing. In Abia, the same thing. Name them. Then, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who Puzodinma is their agent in Imo. And then people are keeping quiet. This battle is not for IPOB alone. For avoidance of doubt, you must leave your baggage where you have it, where you recognize it. Leave your baggage where you are now and fight for your future. What is going on in the contraption called Nigeria is religious war and genocide. And there is nothing you can do about it. Because these people are very much determined and they have agents in our communities, and it is our responsibility to stand up against them. There is never a time evil will prevail over good. There is never a time the kingdom of darkness shall prevail over kingdom of light unless the children of light allows it. Or allow it. This is what is happening now. Those who entrusted our moral and spiritual and even physical feature in their hands to protect us are not doing this, so the things that they're supposed to do. They are now turned rogues. They are now turned looters and corrupt personalities and using the pulpit. Otherwise, why are they not speaking up against all these killings, against armed robbery, against kidnapping and beheading and slaughtering of human beings like animals? How many of them have you heard? Most of them have media platforms. Why are they not speaking up using those media platforms? We are at crossroads, and our people must stand up and do the needful. The church in Nigeria, especially the Christian church, of course, really risk being extinct in no distant time. But we're not going to allow certain things to continue for too long. People who are churchgoers, people who are members of the congregation of different churches, you must begin to ask questions of your pastors. Why do they move around with security, with police, with army? Why are they being protected with guns and other weapons? But you, an ordinary member of the church, contributing heavily towards the progress of the church, your security is left to your own design. Why are they not even talking about it? The same way that they organize crusade for prosperity and progress and take money from you should have been the same way they organize crusade for security crusade, where they pray and speak out against the evil going on in the contraption called Nigeria, and called out the perpetrators by their names, because nothing will happen when you expose an evil man or evil group of people. They will scamper for safety. But the so-called fearless men of God are now the timid ones among us. And the worst aspect of it is that they are devilishly conniving and becoming subservient to these evil perpetrators in society. If their position is no more safe, we have to pursue them and send them away and take it over. It is a responsibility of every right-thinking human being to stand up now and not tomorrow, because our future is at stake. Very important. We are going to continue to expose these people because they are the reason why we are in a mess where we are today. The church was also responsible for the genocidal violence orchestrated against Biafrans, for avoidance of doubt. Because if they stood up against it at the time, vehemently, nothing would have happened. It didn't start today. Even during the Civil War, you had some so-called men of God, of course it's recorded, stealing relief materials meant for other people. Of course, everybody was hungry then. So this deception did not start today. The question is, for how long are we going to keep quiet over it? The most annoying part of it remains the recent killings, brutal slaughtering and beheading. Very gruesome, I must say. Those videos were sent to me and I never looked at it. I saw that video of beheading of a chairman of CAM, but I never looked at it because I couldn't stand it. I shared that video where this is the most horrendous, the most barbaric act you can commit or unleash on human being. And today, everybody is living as if nothing has happened. Are we not evil? More so when those who are supposed to take this on board are in position to do so, financially, spiritually, physically, and otherwise. But they refuse to do so because they are afraid of their lives. Are you kidding me? And people are keeping quiet. Today, a number of people went to church. I played the music I played before starting this program because that music, that Christian music, told a lot of stories about what is going on in Nigeria. There is the spiritual aspect of human being that is separate, and it is about God and individual persons. There is also the physical aspect, both of them must be taken care of. Unfortunately, one has been neglected. And the one that attention has been focused on is the spiritual aspect. And the sad aspect of it is that it is now used for exploitation, not for delivering the healing in the real sense of it. It is now used for accumulation of tithe and offering with a view to building universities, setting up businesses, and favoring people that are close to you, and buying private jets. And of course, paying for security. You pay your way through the security architectures you have around you to protect you. And life goes on, and people kept quiet. How many things are we going to say? There are so many things. But one central thing is that the church has let the people whom they are supposed to be protecting down. The church has failed. The Christian leaders have failed. All of them must be chased away unless they begin to do the needful. The killing of the Christian Association of Nigerian chairman, his beheading and beheading of other Christians cannot go unpunished. It is the responsibility of the Christian leaders to push for justice to be done on behalf of these people, and for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. If you are afraid of going at the forefront of dealing with this issue, what has happened to institutions like ICC, International Criminal Court, when Catholic bishops of Nigeria employ lawyers to send a communication, Article 15 communication, or as the case may be, to the ICC, alleging that Christians are being slaughtered by the Islamic fundamentalists in Nigeria. And of course with evidence, because evidence abounds. Can you tell me that these perpetrators cannot be brought to justice? And in fact, can't you take on the Nigerian government by yourself? Because the church is a institution on its own, to avoidance of doubt. This spirit of timidity must give way to a spirit of boldness and courage. Otherwise, there's nothing you are doing there. You get out, because you are all deceivers and scammers. People must rise up. Wherever you are, from Biafra land to different parts of the zoo, begin to ask your religious leaders questions, because these men are evil. Of course, there are very few of them who are, speaking up. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Your duty is to speak up against evil and to make sure that the society is run as it should be. Some of you will come up with the argument that the church is not involved in politics. But most of you are politicians on the pulpit. So how can you begin to convince us, or any other thinking human being, that you are not a politician? That you are not using the pulpit to politicize the church or Christianity, as the case may be, and in the process selling the congregation with your own selfish interests. Very soon, and when it comes to electoral cycle, you see politicians who never attend churches. They will be at the forefront. They will be giving prominent seats in the church. And you will see some shameless reverend fathers and bishops praying for them. You see some shameless pastors and so-called men of God praying for them and making them saints overnight because he has donated billions or millions to them. And then the last of Father Mbaka will tell you, if you don't come here, you will fail in your election. That is to say, the condition for succeeding in your electioneering campaign or your being elected will be dependent on if you visit Mbaka and he prays for you. So what happens to the will of God in your life? So does it mean that Father Mbaka and the rest of them can change the will of God? If God wills that this man must win election or that he will fail, Father Mbaka can change it by praying. Can you begin to appreciate where we're coming from here? Some of you will tell you that if you pay higher money, you will get a better miracle. Prayers are now graded. You are prayed in a more fervent manner if you pay a particular amount. If you want big things to happen in your life, you pay more money. And they are doing this thing shamelessly in the public. If you want double blessing, you pay more money. And people are shouting, Jesus, I receive it. Pastor, I'm ready. I have done it already and all that. Horrible. If you want bigger blessing, bigger money. If you want smaller blessing, smaller money. Unbelievable. People should wake up. The voice of man remain the voice of God. And if you keep quiet, you will be disappointing God in the process. There is no God in providing your security. There is no God in Boko Haram terrorists bombing you to death, to extinction. There is no God and you are not protecting yourself. Because if you don't protect yourself, you will die. They will kill you and you will go to hell. If there is hell. You can only invite God when you are embarking on that journey. Go with whatever weapon you can use to defend yourself, since the government of the day is no longer defending you. You have to take your future into your hands, of course, within the principle of self-defense. The church has failed. The men of God have failed. The Christian leaders in the contraption called Nigeria have failed everyone. Corruption has crept into the church, and if you think otherwise, prove us wrong. And very soon you begin to expose all of you, for goodness sake. You need to not only concern yourself with the spiritual welfare of the members of the church, you must also be concerned with the physical welfare of the church members. Otherwise, you are not an accomplished man of God. You are not credible. You must be hiding something. And you are all culpable and responsible for the carnage wreaked by the Fulani terrorists against Christian population in the contraption called Nigeria. And as we speak, you are doing nothing about the latest beheadings. All you can say is, God have mercy. God have mercy. You speak in tongue. You don't pray inside, because your enemy does not know what you are praying against. You have to come out. There are practical things you have to do for yourself in a pragmatic fashion. When it comes to prayer, God will do his own. But when it comes to protecting yourself, there is no God there. You have to do it because God has given you the intellect. God has given you the life. God has given you the strength. He has given you every enablement to take care of the life that he has given to you. It is your responsibility to take care of that life. If you don't take it, if you don't take care of it, then that life will be wasted and will be gone. Let no man deceive you about the issue of your security. The heaven will not pay for it. You have to do something here on earth to protect the lives that God has given to you. Even criminals succeed if they work hard. Criminals and robbers, they pray to God as well. And they have faith in what they're doing. And they go on operation and succeed because they are hardworking and daring. So this thing has no magic attached to it. This is just part of spiritual principle, network principle. If you work hard, you achieve success. And if you don't get success on your first or second try, that means that you have not applied certain things the way it should be. You keep trying. But the worst aspect of it is that we haven't tried as Christians to start with, to defend ourselves, not to talk of succeeding. Armed robbers pray to go to operation and they succeed because they worked hard for it. Do you know that there is faith as well in committing evil? But what makes the difference is principle of good and bad. Is what you are doing right or wrong? So let these people stop deceiving us. If you and I pray from morning till night, God cannot change the situation in Nigeria. You, the men, the living, will have to change it. Because God has given you the intellect, the enablement, the physical ability to change things. When you move God into action. It's simple as that. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. Let us all rise up and challenge those Christian leaders in our society to begin to do the needful. Or they get out. Because there are so many people who can actually occupy that position. Identify the evil one among them and call them by their names. But as we speak, they are all culpable to what is happening. They are responsible for abomination. They are responsible for crimes against humanity. They are responsible for the genocide already committed in that contraption called Nigeria. We must act or we all perish. There is no diplomacy when it comes to your security here. There is no speaking in tongues. It is either you provide security for yourself or you don't provide it. And then fall prey to those who are more security, who are more sophisticated security-wise. If you don't take care of your life, somebody will take care of it for you. Because you have absolute control over your life in that sense. If you do what you're supposed to do, God is going to assist and help you. If you don't do it, then that's it. For God to be moved, we have to move God into action. We move God into action by our faith, by our determination, by our commitment to what we believe so much in. And you will see things working according to plan for you and for everyone. The security of everyone in the contraption lies in our collective ability and of course individual ability to do the needful. Provide your individual security against any eventuality. Men of God must speak up against evil. They are ordained to stand against evil. Not only praying, but working practically in a pragmatic fashion against it. So far, we haven't seen that. Once in a while, one or two of them will do one or two things, and then we clap for them. But after that, they will go back to sleep. Is it what we have come for, to achieve in life? This church was fought for by somebody and a group of people. Otherwise, we wouldn't see it the way it is. Your own cannot be different. If you are not hot, if you are not cold, you'll be spit out of the mouth. You are all familiar with that. I'm not preaching here because I'm not a preacher, but we are going to base what we are doing on common sense. It is commonsensical that you provide superior security for yourself in order to counter your enemy, or those who are coming to attack you or your assailants. That is on the physical side. There are other things you can do. Some of you, like we said before, you have media platforms, you have TV platforms. Why don't you host security conference there? Why don't you call on the government? Why don't you call on those perpetrators? Call them out by their names. Why are you not organizing crusade about insecurity in that contraption called Nigeria? Because if you do, all these evil will flee. Why are you not making use of the diplomatic missions in that contraption called Nigeria? Some of you will tell us, oh, we wrote this letter, we wrote this, that, we wrote that. We don't want you to be doing it secretly. Come out in the open. Let people know that you are doing something. You can do more than that. Because you have the money it takes. You have manpower. Other members of the church can assist. You have doctors, you have lawyers, you have engineers. You even have politicians among you. Why are you shying away? Why are you that timid over commanding people or giving them instruction on what is good for them that they should do? Our people must indeed wake up from this comatose state that we have found ourselves in. As always, IPOB will stand in the gap for those who cannot stand for themselves. There is no religion here. What we see here is principle of humanity. Every man is equal before God, and we must do the needful. A sizable number of IPOB family members are Christians. It is your responsibility that when you go back to your churches, you begin to task your pastors, your reverend fathers, your bishops on the issue of security of lives and property. Let them begin to be the doers and not just talkers. And outside your sphere, it is a collective responsibility that will mount pressure on these people that they do something. As we speak, there are reports of several hundreds of people killed or massacred or slaughtered by Boko Haram terrorists and bandits in northern part of the zoo called Nigeria. Even in Biafra land, there are kidnappers now. The men of God are keeping mute over all these things because they are also afraid of being kidnapped. Why are you afraid of your life? If not for anything, learn from the life of the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, I've forgotten his name, and the young seminarian that stood up until the last, and the young Christian from Plateau State that stood against all odds, even when they were threatened with physical violence. They stood till the end. Are you trying to tell me that their death can be in vain? And then you dedicate it to God to take care. You must be evil if you are planning along that line. You must be an evil man of God or woman of God or bishop or general overseer or reverend father for you to be thinking that the lives of these Christians slaughtered, massacred in a most barbaric form by these Fulani terrorists can just go in vain. And then you dedicate it to God. May their souls rest in peace. Your soul will continue to rot in hell, if there is hell, if you are part and parcel of this plot. These men of God must be chased out of the pulpit. They should be on the streets. It is not yet over. If they don't do it, they will never have peace. If they don't do it, then we know that the corruption actually we are talking about has its headquarters in the churches, especially the Christian churches. You were warned there is going to be a revolution in the church, and you're not going to survive it. We want militant Christians who know what it takes to defend Christianity. We want radical Christians who, of course, know what it takes to defend Christianity. We are not telling you to go to war or to begin to go and kill people. You need to equip yourself against this onslaught, against this barbarism going on in the zoo called Nigeria, against this terrorism, against this genocide. It is not a crime that you defend yourself, because the government of the day is busy arming these militants. These are Amajois. They eat, they survive through violence. If you remove violence from them, they will all become poor. These people are blood suckers. They drink human blood. Don't you see how they are slaughtering human beings like animals? Going back to Stone Age. That is what the zoo called Nigeria is like now. Our people must do the needful. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Begin to do Facebook lives against Christian leaders in Nigeria. They are not going to escape it until all of them recognize that they must do the needful. It is not only preaching the gospel on the pulpit, they must come out on the streets and challenge the evil that is going on. They must make use of the diplomatic channels around the world. They must make use of the institution of government in the world. They must be the headquarters of their churches around the world. They must mobilize their members. It is not an appeal to them. It is a challenge. It is a direction. It is an instruction to them. You must have to do it. You have no choice. Otherwise, you won't have peace. Because you are evil in the first place. You are part of the evil we are talking about. People must rise up and do the needful. Because evil thrive, abomination continues to grow when men and women who are supposed to speak up don't speak up. 80% of our problems are coming from the church, the religious leaders who kept mute and criminally silent over evil. Because if they had come out, people will support them, and such will not have happened. We cannot allow them to get away with this one. This beheading, I don't know the Christian Association of Nigerian Church. I don't know whom he is, for avoidance of doubt. I don't know so many other people that they beheaded. But it is a fact that these people are going to come for each and every one of us someday. And we begin to do something now. It is late but not too late. These men of God must live up to their responsibilities. The young Christian men and women must live up to responsibility. We must come out of our comfort zone. The zoo, the Nigeria you are seeing, the Nigeria you are now clamoring for its progress, is actually a den of evil that will consume you. There is evil everywhere, but I think its headquarters is now in the church. Withdraw your financial support from those churches that don't care about your physical welfare. Withdraw your financial support from them, because they are milking you to death. This is a charge. This is a challenge. And I will personally continue with it. This is just there is going to be a campaign against the church in Nigeria, against the Christian leaders in Nigeria, until they begin to do the needful. Because I'm a Catholic and I will start from the Catholic Church for avoidance of doubt. It doesn't matter what you people think. If this is what I achieve in my lifetime, I will be glad. And don't underestimate the result behind this for avoidance of doubt. You must do the needful. The church must be corruption must be getting rid of in the church. You must begin to defend the people. It is not an appeal. It is a must. It is an instruction. And that is what good men and women across board will want to see. These deceivers on the pulpit must be exposed and everybody must run away from them. This will be a further presentation for evidence of that. I've talked too much. If anybody wants to make contribution, they should make, otherwise I will, of course, proceed to end this program. The number to call is plus 447405 964 447405 964 Welcome back. This is still Radio Biafra presentation. I'm joined by Mazi, who called all the way from the United States of America. Can you hear me? Good evening from here. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Mazi. Greetings from the state of New York.
Right, thank you. Thank you very much.
And greetings to our supreme leader and my fellow Biafrans who are working so hard to make sure we go back home to our motherland. And Mazi, in reference of your analysis, this evening, waiting for this to come out for a very long time because we've been waiting for the so-called man of God, as they call it, to be doing what they're supposed to do. But in the real sense, most of these people are agents of caliphates. Because when you look at their records, the investment they make in their life, you start asking yourself, where did they make all this money that they have been spent? Are they making it from the salary the churches are paying them? Or what the other sources where they collecting this money? And you get to find out that these men of God, you call them, bishop, canons, archbishop, reverend fathers, pastors, and whatever you might call them. Mazi, all these people are there for business. They're not there to save the souls. I'm from Nnewi now. Since Anglican Church, where I was born into, and some Roman Catholic places, you know, they're doing Roman Catholic and Anglican Church now like a mushroom. You do harvest in every clan in your Omunna meeting. You do a harvest because most people don't go to the churches anymore. So they bring you to your Omunna, every Omunna from where I came from. They do harvest there. At the end of the day, whatever they get, they submitted it to the church. And when you look at what is happening in our communities, like we are here in the United States, most of the charity is being done by the church. But you go to our places, individuals are the ones that are doing charities to motherless babies home, which is supposed to be a job of the church. And you see most of these mushroom branches, they're opening up Anglican, sub-Catholic to compete with Pentecostal. You see a so-called pastor or reverend, they will put in a congregation that is not up to 100. When it's time for them to go on a transfer, they want the congregation to buy them a car. They will make references to you for this person from that congregation. The people over there bought him a car before he left for transfer. And I guess some of them, young people, reverend, pastors from my places, and most of them have built 2-story buildings. You ask under 5 years. You ask yourself, where do they get money they're using to build it? Because our people are so blind, they don't ask questions. They want quick miracle, which never happens to them. Somebody that offended their family members that are supposed to go and ask for forgiveness, they go and go cross overnight. They go do all nonsense our people are doing. And when you look at them, they look so stupid, you know. And when some of them, when they come to talk to you, I say, listen, you believe you do go crossover, you go fall down and die, and the rest of them, go to your pastor, let them do something for you. So, Mazi, I see how I put it this morning. Our problem are from our religious leaders. All of them are political minded. They're not there.
Mazi, not all of them anyway. Majority.
Mazi, I can tell you in Biafra land, any pastor that is under 50 years of old, those are the ones we need to work with. The ones that are above 50. I was one of the pastors that said they cannot give them, most of them 10 million. Do you think somebody that collected 10 million naira from Obiano will go and criticize Obiano? It's not possible.
Yeah, what we're saying here is I'm talking about the killings in the zoo called Nigeria, the other corrupt practices and all that, and we also recognize that very few men of God or pastors and reverend fathers are actually once in a while speaking up, but it's not enough. They are in the minority. Majority of them are the agents of the evil.
I understand you quite well. When we look at all these killings that are happening in our land, we know the governors in Southeast are being appointed by the caliphates, right? If you collect money from those governors that work for the caliphate, do you think you can go and criticize the caliphate or Boko Haram or ISIS? They're not going to do it because they are representatives.
Of course, when you take the money, you do what they want you to do for them, of course.
That's why none of them is speaking, because most of them have been contaminated.
They have to speak now, or calamity will befall them inside that church.
Mazi, you said it all. It's our people to revolt on them. If they go to church and they came into a church and nobody is there, they know their times are over. You know, those are the type of demonstration we have to do against all these evil pastors. When they come inside the church and nobody is there, they will start questioning themselves. And the next alternative they have is to resign. Because if they continue coming into the pulpit to preach and nobody is there, automatically they know people don't want them. But what do you think of our people? Most of our people want a quick fix. Some of them drink bleach so that miracle will happen in their life without going out there to look for something they can do to benefit themselves. Most of them can't even go and hawk something on the street, because our places now, you have to create a business for yourself. Nobody is going to give to you because we don't have no representative. So, Mazi, we get it all. And yesterday you mentioned about communication in our land, which we have set up some platform. But you know, when we started this program, a lot of kind of ice was putting on it, and it kind of make our people not waking up to the challenges about evangelism to our people. Because somebody called you up yesterday, was talking about radio. We have a platform that we was begging our people in diaspora that we need to make an effort. We don't need our people that are suffering already home to participate in this. You know, whatever it's a free will donation that you can make through the zone where you belong on IPOB. They're going to give you IPOB receipt. That we set up a platform where you can set the receipt to know when we got enough money to put relay station in our places that doesn't get radio. Like in Nsukka, in Ebonyi State, in Akwa Ibom State, in Abo. All these places need a relay station. And we in diaspora have to get it done so that our people will be able to get this gospel. Because Mazi, this gospel we've been sending out today is the same people that have access to the radio that are hearing it. And from Nnewi, radio doesn't speak it in Nnewi unless like 12 midnight to like about 3. You know, the signal will...
So one must be responsible for it. I've been told about this, but I don't know what's going on. But I think we have 1 or 2 challenges in that aspect.
In reference of that, the relay station that we have in this area, long distance. That's what we have a lot of
that's the thing
in London there. Are trying to reach out to them. So we set it up at Nnewi and Onitsha province, where we have capable hand that will help to rescue other people, that their people are not coming out. But we're trying to emphasize more advertisement on this platform so that our people will come out and do the needful. Because all the killings is happening in Biafra and it's people that doesn't have access to the radio. By the time they wake up in the morning, 100 to 200 people is dead. Why? Because they don't know what is happening around them. So Mazi, I'm just going to give out this number and I'll give space for other people. We set up this WhatsApp number. If you make a payment to the zone of IPOB where you live, you can send the receipt of your payment to this number +1 929 326 2733. And if you are not an IPOB member and you're a Biafran, you want to make a contribution towards this relay station project, you can go to IPOBinusa.org. IPOBinusa.org.
So let me clarify. You're doing this thing for USA, right? This is for USA.
Worldwide, because people in London are making contribution to it too.
Okay, but I hope this was discussed.
I was mention about it about 4 or 5 brokers, back, that people in diaspora should make sure that they have 3 to 4 relay stations in their states.
Yes, of course, yeah, community-based effort. Right.
Yes. So we're doing it. We got about 10 people from United Kingdom that contributed, from Italy, from Malaysia, from Japan, from USA here, but everything is going to the zones where they have the IPOB meeting. This WhatsApp number is to collect the information to know when we get enough money to start installing the relay station, the most important places.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope everybody heard it. So we will have to proceed because there are so many people calling. And they are being
thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Mazi calling there. God bless you. This is Radio Biafra Live Edition. People are saying it's not all the pastors, it's not all the men of God and all that. And of course, that is what I've been saying here. What prompted my talking about this issue has been the nonchalant attitude of the people who are supposed to speak up about evil in the society. And then somebody was making reference to how about those who are castigating Christians and all that. Of course, that is not what I'm talking about here. Nobody has right or monopoly of insult. Religious politics on this platform or what we are doing is going to destroy everything. If you insult me as a Christian or as a Catholic, I will have to respond. And then, if you think that you have monopoly of insult, then when I insult you as well, I don't know how this platform will be. So let everyone respect him or herself. What matters is the principle of humanity. If you are castigating one religion or the other, are you better than that person to start with? So, but we have an existential threat that has encompassed, or rather has posed serious threat against what we are doing, against our collective endeavor as human beings. There is an issue with this phone. I can't even pick it. And I will try and do something very drastic. We will take this call from this other line is dropped. So what I'm trying to say, for avoidance of doubt, is for people who are saying castigating one church or the other and all that, you are all in the same platform. You can't be castigating anybody because you are not perfect yourself. And at the end of the day, even the people we are castigating are more in number on this platform. So let everybody keep quiet over certain things that he will not or she will not win over. What we are here to do is to say it the way it is and to make sure that what is inimical to our progress is sorted out. Yeah, can you hear me? Call on the phone.
Good morning. Good evening from here.
Good evening from here. Welcome to the program. Who is speaking?
I hear you, brother. Talking.
You can hear me.
Or maybe it's network. I can't hear you.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I'm very sure people are hearing me, and I don't know why you're not hearing me. I can hear you, of course.
I will continue. Maybe you are hearing me, but I can't hear. My name is Mazi, a native of Oka North, province Biafra, and I'm calling right now from Italy.
Right, thank you.
What we are discussing about the men of God, even if you say that it's not all of them. Okay, tell me the one that is doing something among them. Which one is the person doing something? One of the things is that they are afraid of die. You know, this person, I don't know if this is, I don't know what the one died, but they want to go heaven. Your people, the person that is...
Are you aware? Let me tell you something. Are you aware that there are reverend fathers and pastors who are also members of this family?
Maybe 5 or 10 is missing. And you are comfortable with the 90, moving ahead with the 90. While your Bible tells you that if one is missing out of the 100, you have to leave the 99 and go and look for that one. But they are ready to leave the 10 that go. Leave that 10 for God and continue with the 90. And small time, 25 will go out of the 90 remaining. And they are ready to continue with the remaining one. This is not what the Bible teaches them. What they are after now is their money. And they are the most, they fear more than the ordinary people. Because they cannot walk alone. But the ordinary man can go to market and buy his food and whatever and come back. So these people are there just for their own benefit. People going to church, I don't think you are just doing it for you. You need to reason very well and know that these people are not there for you. I was a very, very strong member. I go to church. I have participate in ministry. I know how much. I didn't pay more than 1,000 each on Sunday. If I want to do often, I will do more than 200. But when I realized that doing this thing is like wasting my time, wasting my money, I stop it. Am I not living healthy and strong today? Maybe I'll be thinking that it's because of this thing that I'm doing that I'm living healthy or making it in life. My people, all of us need to wake up, and those men of God are the major problem because whenever they rise up and begin to talk, and they begin to put it in the camera, the Western people will be seeing it. It will not be like in IPOB, it's only IPOB.
Of course.
They need to
they have what it takes.
Outside are watching, they want to hear from them. They want to see what they will do. Now this man that carry banner, he didn't talk. He go a little enter a motor. Is that a protest? Look at, because of this ordinary visa, the man come out. But they still a charm person. Maybe it's not his member. It's not the church of his own. Maybe that person is a good. As he been his member, then this is the problem of the church in the let's say in Africa. I don't know. I never want to put interest in the Western here. Until they start to do something, this thing will never stop and it will continue to increase. Let people start asking their pastor, their whatever question. Well, some of these days, the Major pastor when I'm in on nature then. I'll stop following him up when I see that he's not talking. Until I see him talking, telling his member to go again, I feel that they should never criticize the IPOZ or whoever that is fighting for their freedom. Yes, you people are trying, but you need to do more. Open up. Don't be afraid of nothing. Nigeria can never in this life better. If as the days hard, the problem will continue to multiply, not increasing, but it will begin to multiply. If it's 100 today, it will be 100 tomorrow. If that's the time to continue.
There is no amount of prayer that will stop what is going on unless we take action. He's not hearing me even.
Thank you for this program.
We're not sure why. He said he's not hearing, but I was hearing him. Of course, we remain whom we are here and has no apology to render to anyone. The problem we have is from the church, 80% of it, because those who are supposed to speak up are not speaking up. Can you hear me? Good evening from here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I hear you, my honorable Deputy Mazi from Mefor?
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. My name is Mazi Joseph from Uche, and Mazi Joseph from Uche is calling from Ebola for in the second side of the Biafra land. I love this your analysis this evening, but before I start, I say may God Almighty keep on letting my Mazi Namdekan and bless him. And may God Almighty, who brought him in this commission, keep on protecting him until he celebrates Biafra with us, because I know that our leader Mazi Namdekan have restored Biafra for us. And that have a said and his generation, he said, and you especially, he promised us that he will never allow this platform to see corruption. And as I'm speaking with you, you still stand on your word. My AK will keep on guiding you, because you have proof to the world that you can trust, that the world can trust a Biafran, because they say that Biafra cannot trust a Biafra, but you stand on your word up to date to prove to them that Biafra, the name that you are giving to us, is not what you are answering. And say, may God Almighty keep on guiding you and they brought up Biafra in the name of Chukwuka Kabiama.
He said, and you too, of course, you're doing something on your own. Yeah. Everyone is doing.
Yeah, and like for example, in this year analysis this evening, this is one of the problems that our people is having, because what part now, the Christianity and we, the people that, especially people that even call themselves that they are child of God and they're man of God, they have used the churches, the Lord, to even be eating them, their brothers and sisters. You see somebody, the people that say they are killing is their member. What the man will do, or the man of God will do, or the reverend or whatever that is answering, maybe in that place that are even burying the person that the so-called Hausa Fulani or Muslim or whatever killed. They will start there and be announcing how they will get another money from the church. We start even thinking, this is the thing that this person have died. What will we do to stop this thing? That is not what they is disturbing them. Like what's happened to the can in the Kaduna, they don't even want to ask anything about it. They just do not. That one don't go on. Without even knowing, tomorrow it might be you. We are saying, what will we do for we to stop this calamity? What will we do for we to start this atrocity? It's not their business. What is their business is how many mansions the man of God have. What they are doing, how many cars that you want to ride the highest car on earth. That is their problem. They don't even want to care about the mood that is bringing it. They don't even want to care. You see a man of God, someone that calls himself a man of God, somebody that is coming, that is collecting that thing. Some of them are not even eating a plate of food, but because of what is coming out of your mouth, they're able to do anything. Because that everything that's coming out of your mouth is from God, without even knowing that it's not coming from your heart. So, my people, this is the time that you need to do the needful, because you need to correct all these type of things. Because we don't correct it. Look at the so-called Mbaka, whatever that is calling. This is how, if you go and watch that Biafra of 2019, that is the Uzodingba or whatever that is his name is. If you see what happened that day, we know that is the day that they have that crazy deal, which is so-called Uzodingba, that they used to frustrate Imo State and do what they've done in Imo State. And this is the thing that when the thing starts happening, our people will be jumping up that all this thing is how God, or that is so says God, and this is what God says. So, my brothers and sisters, this is the time, because this Biafra, we said that our leader Mazi said that the Biafra, the agitation of Biafra, and when Biafra comes, Biafra is going to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Whether you are from Biafra or you are not from Biafra, we make sure that we fight against any injustice, whether in any part of the world, because we are for justice. So, and that's what I'm trying to say. Let's stand up and do the needful. Let's start talking about those people. Every day by day, like yesterday now, they're saying that they're bandits. They are no more calling them Boko Haram, but they call them now bandits.
Yeah, they are changing their name to deceive those that they are the same people, and they are very well sponsored.
Yes. Like yesterday, 30 of them, this morning, they are still giving another list. Bandits. And this every day by day, it keep on happening. So my brothers and sisters, let's stand up and do the needful. Stop watching those people. Stop giving them your money. I use the Mazi Joka for Mefor. Remain blessed. I remain ever formidable. They were watching again. Look back from here. Still, my humble servant Mazi to myself on YouTube. They were watching again. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And God bless you. This is Radio Biafra representation. Why we are releasing Boko Haram terrorists, the Nigerian military. They are releasing Boko Haram terrorists. Of course, we know they are releasing them and integrating them into the society, and they are taking up choices of jobs, military, police, civil defense jobs, and they send them to where the civilian populations who are not from the northern House of Fulani extraction are, and they continue to wreak havoc. Just look at the level of brutality that the so-called Nigerian police, Nigerian SARS, what they are doing. You see that these are their actions, the brutality they met out, they are unleashing on their victims, are consistent with the method that Boko Haram is using. Very devilish human beings. Very, very devilish. And then in the first of all days, those who are supposed to speak up are keeping quiet and pretending as if nothing is happening. This is unbelievable, and we are seeing it in our lifetime, and it is not about keeping quiet this time around. The beheading of the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria and the other seminarian and a whole lot of other people remain a pointer, or remain pointers that must not be swept under the carpet. And these people, their lives cannot be in vain. Their lives cannot be in vain. Nigeria is going to implode. The churches are going to implode if the so-called men of God and women of God don't speak up. This is unbelievable. It is very, very unbelievable that this is happening in our lifetime, and the people who are actually encouraging all these things and the people who are supposed to know better. And we are here to say the way it is. I don't know, can you hear me? My goodness. Good evening from here, can you hear me? No. Yeah, good evening from here.
Yeah, Mazi, Mefor, thank you.
Good evening, Mazi. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, this is your brother. My brother, it's like you're lamenting this afternoon, and it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But all I can tell you, my brother, it's before you continue to lament, I will refer you to 2 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2, 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 to 11. You can see that this was written thousands of years ago, and today is in place. This is the reason I tend not to talk too much. I tend not to get too frustrated when it comes to talking about Christianity, which some of us are fond of doing. Because one thing is clear. There was this man called Christ. We have known that his name is not Jesus, Yeshua. And he once walked on the surface of this earth. And according to the scriptures, thousands of years before my great-great-grandfather was born, it was written that the Son of Man manifested, the Word of God manifested as man, and that man walked on the surface of the earth. And this is what we were given as fundamentals. And studying this man and reading about this man, I don't know where he has contravened or contradicted himself as far as the word of God that was handed over to us. I don't know where the same our Lord Yeshua have contradicted himself with the words and his works. He came that we may live. And according to the scriptures, he's going to come back again. Whether we know it or not, one thing I do know is there's so much that we don't have control of. That's why as much as we think we are so powerful, one day, as much as that power you think you have, one day you go down 6 feet. If your tradition is going down 6 feet. If you are going to be cremated, you'll be cremated. If any form of burial rights will be given you, you'll be given. And that's going to be your end. And this thing does not happen to the rich only, or the poor only, or to the handicapped, or mentally or physically challenged. It happens to everyone. So, as much as our people get so frustrated, and sometimes we go out of hand talking about Christianity or Christ, I have learned to apply restraints on myself. And every time most of the time that I come to the radio, I make reference to this very place in the scriptures so that our people can understand that what is happening in our land today did not come out of the blues. It was written.
Okay.
Of lawlessness.
Yes, Mazi. Okay, go ahead, but I need to say something. And then...
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, in line with what you're saying, you are lamenting. You are crying out.
I'm not lamenting. I'm just saying I'm
You're
not.
saying something. How come these people are quiet? These people that can take this message, how come
Yes, because
all of a sudden, these men are no longer doing the work of God? That is what you're saying this evening. Maybe lamenting is somehow too strong to be used. You are asking a question. How come these men disappeared? How come these men are not saying anything? In the wake of evil right in our face, before the killing of the chairman of the camp, we forgot that we're killing in Enugu. A reverend father was killed, and nobody else did but the House of Fulani and the Fulani, not thousand.
of course.
We saw a lot of things that are directed towards the Christianity. Bombing that started, it didn't start yesterday, it started all the way from 2011 all the way till today. And all these men are quiet. And these are men that are expected to face this truth face to face according to the teachings of our Lord Yeshua. These are men that are supposed to confront this evil. And they're not saying anything. And even when they come to Washington here, some of them will be talking about getting money to go and support orphanage. And the orphanage they are supporting is the orphanage as a result of violence directed towards Christians. When you ask them question about what is happening in Nigeria, they will change the whole concept. They're talking about displaced people, internally displaced. They need money to go and give the internally displaced.
But they are not interested in stopping what in the first place called that displacement.
The internal displacement. That's what I'm saying here. They are not interested. Even when you ask them questions, they are given opportunity to provide that information. They will go around it and then turn around and ask people to pray. I mean, at this point of time, if this thing has been happening to people, maybe in the congregations and everything. Now, within the last month, we have these attacks on clergy. Both the seminarian, the young man that was killed because of his belief, and we have this Christian Association chairman. And isn't that surprising that if you go to church today, then you will still see people sitting in there in the
Yes,
witnessing.
it's still happening.
This man was beheaded right in front of everybody. What are we not seeing here? And people are still calling for prayer. Prayer for what?
It's exactly what I'm saying, that you have to defend yourself. I mean, you have to talk about your physical thing. People are being deceived, in so many ways. What I'm saying in essence is these are the custodians of truth. If you think about truth and how it is manifested, first of all, you will think about, what comes to mind are those who preach the gospel, those who are community leaders and all that. In the face of the killings, the beheading, which was very gruesome, that one, I don't even eat certain things again, because the whole thing, I've never seen anything like that before.
Nobody has said. Nobody.
So, and then everybody's going about as if nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. You will see people